in front of everyone at the dinner table. My husband looked me straight in the eyes and said, "Marrying you was the biggest mistake of my life." Then he ripped the wedding ring from my hand, threw my suitcase at the door, and kicked me out. I thought it was over. But the next morning, I came back for something I forgot, and what I saw inside changed everything. For 10 years, I believed I had the perfect marriage. My husband Daniel always acted loving in public. Everyone thought we were the ideal couple. That night was supposed to be our anniversary dinner. Family members were gathered, candles were lit, and I had spent hours preparing everything. I smiled as Daniel walked through the front door. But something felt wrong immediately. His face was cold. His expression had changed. Without saying a word, he sat down at the table while everyone waited. Then suddenly, he looked directly at me and said, loudly enough for everyone to hear, "I was wrong to marry you." The room fell completely silent. I thought maybe it was some terrible joke. But before I could speak, he stood up, pointed at me, and said, "You were never good enough for me. I wasted 10 years with the wrong woman." My heart started pounding so hard I could barely breathe. Then he stretched out his hand and said, "Give me the ring back." I paid for it. I stared at him in disbelief. My own family was sitting there. His parents were sitting there. Everyone was frozen. Slowly, with shaking fingers, I removed the wedding ring from my hand and placed it on the table. He smirked. Then he walked to the bedroom, grabbed one suitcase, threw it near the front door, and said, "Get out of my house." No one said a word. That was the moment I realized the man I loved never truly existed. I picked up my suitcase and left. That night, I stayed in a cheap motel across town. I didn't sleep at all. I cried until morning, replaying every second inside my head. But around noon the next day, I suddenly remembered something. My late grandmother had given me a necklace years ago. It was hidden inside the bedroom drawer. I needed to go back. I drove to the house expecting silence. But the moment I stepped inside, I heard laughter, female laughter. I slowly walked toward the living room and froze. There, sitting on my couch, wearing my silk robe, drinking wine from my anniversary glasses, was another woman, a young blonde woman, and sitting right beside her was Daniel, laughing like I had never existed. My entire body turned cold. Then suddenly, the woman stood up and smiled. But before Daniel could say anything, 3 black luxury cars stopped outside the house. Daniel looked confused. Men in expensive suits entered the house. One of them walked directly toward me and handed me a folder. Daniel shouted, "What the hell is this?" The man ignored him. I opened the folder and smiled for the first time. Months ago, my grandfather had passed away quietly overseas. Unknown to Daniel, I had inherited ownership of multiple business properties worth nearly $50 million. But there was one condition. My husband had no legal rights to any part of it. And worse for Daniel, the house we were standing in, it had been purchased entirely under my inheritance trust years earlier. Legally, it was mine. The lawyer finally turned toward Daniel, then said words I'll never forget. "Sir, you have exactly 1 hour to leave this property." The blonde woman's face turned pale instantly. Daniel screamed in anger, but karma had already arrived. 30 minutes later, I stood outside watching both of them carry their suitcases out of the same front door he forced me through the night before. Daniel begged me to forgive him, but I simply smiled. Then I said, "You were right. You were wrong to marry me, because now you'll spend the rest of your life regretting losing everything." I closed the door behind me, and for the first time in 10 years, I felt free. Sometimes betrayal destroys you. Sometimes betrayal reveals your true power. And karma always remembers.